Hey everybody, what is happening? It is Wednesday. Man, I'm telling you, this week is actually flying by pretty good for me, man. Usually it drags by, but this week is going pretty good. As you know by looking at the thumbnail for this video, you know what's going on here. You can see that right there, right over my left shoulder. That is the Hendrix Strat. It's listed as violet. And, of course, I call it purple. I don't know if they just couldn't say that for whatever reason. I don't know. But I didn't look at the fine details on it. But I do have the white Hendrix Artist Strat. I think I got it in like 2016, maybe 2017. I need to get it out of the case. I got to dig it out back there in the warehouse and check it out. But why yet another guitar? Why? You know, to the common everyday person, they don't get it. They don't get it, and they're kind of like, man, you can only play one at a time. That's yeah, I know that. That's not the reason. The reason is because it's just in my soul, man. Guitars and music is just in my soul. It's what I love. It's what I love to do. Another explanation is, what's the best way I can say? Christmas morning. When you were a kid and it's Christmas morning and you came out of your room, you looked under the tree and there was your gifts, you know, that feeling of like, oh my God, you know, that's the best way I can describe it, right? It's like getting a fix, you know, in a way, but I digress. I just love doing this. I love buying guitars. I love I have slowed down a lot from, you know, a while back. I mean, a few years ago, I was getting them pretty regularly, you know, like 2 a month or something. It was just, and it started to accumulate over time a lot. I got asked last night, how many do I have? Man, I don't know. I need to do another tally. It's quite a bit. Now, I don't have as much as other people. Some people have like 200 or 120 or something. I don't have nothing like that. It's nowhere like that. But I have plenty. The only problem is now when I want to get to one, I have to dig it out, you know, because I got cases stacked up and cases against each other in the warehouse, and it's just pretty much out of room. Once you walk into the back warehouse right here, you take one step, your foot hits a guitar case, you know. But it's just, you know, it's just tools of the trade. This guitar was in mint condition. I mean, I got it off Reverb. There was a few listed on there. I'd been in the market for one of these for quite some time. At the time when they were actually available on the online sites, I thought to myself, well, they'll be around. They'll be around for a long time, just like the others. But I didn't realize it was a limited run. I just didn't pay attention. And, you know, about a year or so, maybe a year and a half, if that long, you didn't see them no more. They were gone. And I was like, okay, let me go to Sweetwater. Nope. Let me go to Musician's Friend. No. Let me go to Z Sounds. No, I mean, you couldn't find them at all. So I forgot about it for a long time. And then last weekend, I was laying there as I do, getting ready to fall asleep after, you know, getting home from work. And it dawned on me. I was like, man, I need to get on Reverb and just see. Let me just look. That's how it always starts. Let me just look. Let me just window shop. Let me browse and just see if there have any available. And at the time when I looked, yeah, there was about maybe 5, something like that. And they weren't too bad in price. They weren't too awful bad. A few of them were steep. And, you know, that's the thing about something that's no longer in production. It's going to go up in value, right? I mean, it's going to, you know, people can ask what they want. But when I found this one, it was from like a mom and pop's type guitar shop. They had plenty of pictures. The pictures look really good. And there is still the plastic on the pick guard It's still on there. It hasn't been taken off. And because I changed the strings on it, I went ahead and took those off. It has the vintage style tuners up top, which if you've never messed with those, it takes a little messing with to get used to them. Because the first few strings, you just stick them down into the tuning peg, and then you had to hold it in place and then twist it to get some tension on it. But when you get to the thin strings, it can be a trick, because they want to pop out. Actually, on my other Hendrix model, the white one, I took those vintage tuners off, and I went to Guitar Center and bought some locking tuners, and it was like, I don't know, like $70. And I got home and I had to actually route out some of the holes so those locking tuners would fit. I just had to mess with it for a little bit, and I got it. I've done it before on other guitars. This was, quite some time back. When I first started messing with those vintage tuners. So I put the strings on. Like I said, I play gauge 9 to 42, and immediately I could tell a huge difference. And I was like, oh yeah, that's great. That's just now where we're supposed to be. So people that play gauge 10, 11s, whatever, and you're in, a lot of people go half a step down or whatever. I stay in standard. So that's just a lot more pressure on the fingertips when you're bending notes and doing stuff like that. If I was playing just rhythm all the time, I don't think it would be a big deal. It wouldn't really mess with the fingertips too. Anyway, I digress again. So I was just looking, like I said, and I saw it and I said, man, that looks so beautiful. I mean, the color and everything, it's just awesome, man. And I said, well, let me put it in my cart, and let me just think about it. Well, I don't know about y'all, but for me, if I put something in my cart and I think about it, when I go back, what happens? That's right, it's gone. It's been sold. Somebody else has done got it. Because if somebody's looking at it, there'll be a notification on there that says, hey, somebody has this item in their cart. So if you're going to get it, you need to act now. But anyway, I thought about it for about a day, and I said, man, go ahead and pull the trigger on it. And I did, and the guy shipped it. It was, the guitar itself was $999.99. And it was like $100 for shipping or something, which look, some people might say $100 for shipping. Well, if you've ever sold a guitar, I do know if you go through Reverb, you get a discount on the shipping, I guess. I guess it depends on what rate you choose and how fast to get it somewhere, but it got here quick. I mean, when I got the notification that, hey, your item has been shipped, here's a tracking number, it was going to be here in like 2 days, so that's quick. It was packaged very well. It came with a really nice Fender gig bag. But I went online and ordered a hard shell case because I just, I don't want something like that in a gig bag. I don't want most of my guitars in gig bags anyway. I used to all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with gig bags at all. For me, I feel better if my guitar is in a hard shell case. Now, speaking of hard shell cases, you can spend some money on a hard shell case. You can spend upwards to hundreds of dollars, or you can go on a little bit lower end of things and get them for like $65, and they're just fine. I'm not out touring. I'm not taking long trips and it's on a plane or a bus or getting flopped around somewhere. It's here in my house, so I think that's fine. Now actually, I found really, now just bear with me here, but this is the honest truth. I found some nice, decent cases on Temu, of all places, and they come from a local warehouse. So I'm new to Temu, really. I started getting stuff off of there about a month, maybe 2 months ago, because I was like, I'm not going to mess with that because it's going to be a bunch of Chinese crap. Well, there is a bunch of Chinese crap on there if you get it from Temu's warehouse. And there was a couple of things I ordered. I didn't know that you need to look to make sure it says local warehouse will arrive in 3 business days. I didn't know that. I was new to the whole Temu experience. Yeah, I've gotten probably 4 cases from there, and it's range from anywhere from $58 to about maybe $70, and they're all kind of about the same. There's a couple of tweed ones I got that are really nice, got the red kind of interior. I don't know if it's what you want to call it. It's like I'm talking about a car. And then of course just your standard black, and with the black interior or whatever, and but they're great. They're great cases, man. I was like, wow, these aren't bad at all for the money, and free shipping. I mean, so I, the old Purple Haze there has got its own case, and just like my other Hendrix Strat, when you go to the bridge pickup, it's bright. I mean, it's bright. It's a Strat, and it's just the way those guitars are wired up. It's just how those pickups are. So I usually go to, if you have the pickup selector switch all the way down, I call it the first position because that's where it starts. Then I'll go up one, and that's the second, right? So you kind of get that little use out of two pickups, and it puts some mid-range in it, a little bit of bass in there. I mean, I could probably mess with the tone knobs if I really wanted to, but for me, I find out if you start messing with the tone knobs, it takes away from your like pinch harmonics. You can't really get them. So I always leave my tone knobs wide open. I don't even touch them really. But anyway, so I put it in the second position. It sounds really good. I was like, wow. And of course, the neck position is amazing. But that bridge pickup, it's bright. It's bright. I'll put it all the way down in the bridge position when I'm maybe doing a solo or something, and kind of give that little extra kick. And it just takes a little getting used to. It's a Strat. If you've ever played a Strat, you know what I mean. You got that hum going on a little bit. But the neck feels great on this guitar. It feels amazing. I did find a Hendrix strap on Amazon. It's authentic Hendrix. It's got that branding, says authentic Hendrix, and it's legit. And I think that strap cost me, it's right at $30. It's a nice strap, man. It's really nice. It's a little wide, but it's not too wide. It's very comfortable. So I'm very happy with this purchase. Now, I'll tell you. So my wife was out of town, and so I lined everything up. I said, okay, all right, let me see. I'll get it here. I'll have it shipped on this date, and I'll go ahead and order the case, and I'm getting all my ducks in a row. And so I went ahead and ordered the case from Temu first. And then I think the next day I ordered the guitar. So like clockwork, the case arrives. No problem. I get the case out of the box, all that good stuff. Get it back here and get ready. And then the next day it was on a Thursday. It was last Thursday. And I get a message from my wife. She goes, I'm going to come home a day early because everything here is finished what she was doing out of town, and I can go ahead and get home. I said, okay. And so I'm getting on my UPS app, and I'm tracking it, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see, she'll be home probably about 1:30 in the afternoon, something like that. So I'm getting ready for the day because I work the night shift. I get up about between 12 and 12:30. All right. Get up, grab my shower, and I'm getting dressed. I'm getting ready. And my phone goes ding, and it's a message from UPS, and it says, "Hey, your UPS driver is close to making your delivery." And I was like, "Oh man," because it required a signature. Okay, and I understand that's just how it is with Reverb. That's just how it is. And I was like, okay, good. So I went to the back door, opened it, and of course had the screen door shut. And I was just getting ready because the UPS guy here, they're quick. They'll knock on the door, and if you don't answer or something within maybe 5 seconds, they're out of here. I mean, they are gone. And so I was going back and forth, looking out the windows. I'd step outside for a minute, come back in. It was hot. And that was another thing. I was like, man, I don't like really getting the guitar when it's blazing hot in the summertime, but, you just have to let it acclimate the best you can. I can't remember where it came from. I can't remember what state. But anyway, so I'm waiting. And then it gets about 1:30 and my wife gets home. No UPS, no package, nothing yet. She gets home, we eat lunch, and I don't come back here and play. I just kind of, do my thing, but I said, look, I got a package coming from UPS. It's going to require a signature, because it was getting close time for me to leave for work. And she said, oh, okay, like that. So 4:30 gets here. I have to leave. That's the latest I can leave here. I'm not supposed to leave past that. I got to get to work by a certain time. So I leave, get to work, and now I keep checking my phone, because once it's been delivered, usually I'll get a notification on my phone from UPS saying, hey, your package has been delivered. So I get to work, I get in the rig, I go to the dairy, get my trailer, get hooked up, going down the road. So now you're looking at, by this time now it's around 6 o'clock, maybe 6:15. So I'm going down the road, and I'm going down the interstate, and of course nothing. I don't get no notification. I was like, man, are they just not going to deliver today? Because that has happened out here. It gets later in the day, and they'll just be like, we rescheduled your delivery till the next day, which this was rescheduled. It was supposed to be here Wednesday, and it got rescheduled for Thursday. So I said, okay. And I get further down the interstate on my trip for my job, and I'm on the phone with my mother, and I was calling her to see how she was doing, and then a call beeped in, and I didn't know. I was like, it had the person's name. I didn't know who it was. So I hit go to voicemail, hit that. The number called right back. Within just a few seconds, called right back. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, hang on, let me see who this is. So I flipped over, I said, hello? And the guy said, hey man, is this Joe? I said, yeah, man. And I'm like, who is this? I'm thinking, he goes, this is whatever. I don't even remember his name. This is so-and-so. This is your UPS guy. And I said, oh, hey man. He goes, I'm at your house, and I'm knocking on the door, and nobody's coming to the door. He goes, I got a guitar for you here. And I said, and I knew that time of day, my wife, she was probably in the facility, getting ready to, turn in for the night, or whatever, because she was tired. And I said, well, my wife should be there. He goes, yeah, I see another car here. And he described the car. I said, yeah, that's her. He goes, I said, she must be indisposed, man. And luckily, he said, well, if you don't mind, do you want me to sign for you on this little handheld computer? And where do you want me to put it? And I said, just put it on the back porch and against the plastic outside cabinet there. And he goes, okay. And so luckily, I have an account with UPS. I have the app, and, you fill out that information, and it had my phone number, and I forgot all about it. So if I hadn't had that, he probably just would have took it back. But anyway, so I'm waiting to see if I get a phone call, later. I never got nothing. And I was like, that could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing. I've experienced both. So I don't hear nothing. And then, I don't hear nothing the rest of the night. It's just silence. I don't hear nothing. So I was like, oh. So I get home early the next morning, and everything's cool. Everything's fine. And she's asleep, because it's like 6 a.m. It's dark still. And I go to bed. No, I'm sorry. I come in. I see the box leaning against the couch. So I bring it in here. I get my pocket knife out, and I cut it open, and man, it was packaged so well. It was wrapped in all this brown packaging paper, the peanuts, styrofoam peanuts, and I'm trying to get that thing out, and it's making all this racket, with paper and stuff. Like, oh my God, so I get it all out, get it out of the box, take the box outside, put it on top of the trash cans next to the building, and come in, and I got the new case, and I put it in the floor right here, and I said, well, I put the strap on it, and adjusted the strap, again, Christmas morning, right? Kind of just celebrating by myself at like 6 a.m. And I put it on, I get it adjusted. I said, man, that feels good, man. And I could tell by when I put my hand on the neck and felt the strings and just tried to do a couple of course, it was detuned. It was, which I tuned it up real quick. And I said, just did a couple little bends. I said, I could tell those are 10s. I can just tell. So I put it in the case and put it up. And I said, well, I got to go to bed. So I go to bed, get up later that day, and my wife was in a wonderful mood. She usually always is, not that she's ever in a really bad mood, but everybody has their days, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, what's going to happen here, So I get ready. That afternoon comes. You're looking at 24 hours later. Right? I'm getting ready to go to work, and I said, "Man, I dodged a bullet. It's all good." So she always walks me outside when I'm going to work. She always walks outside with me, tells me bye, and she kissed me bye, whatever. And I was walking down the grassy knoll, going to my pickup truck. She goes, "Oh, by the way, what was that box that came day before yesterday?" I said, "Oh, that was a guitar case." And I turned around to go out. She goes, "Okay, but what was that other box?" And I said, "Oh, that was a guitar." Her response, "Yep, that's what I figured." And that was it. So it was cool, man. But she just shakes her head about it anymore. Like I said, I used to be really bad. with that stuff. And it's calmed down. It's calmed down a lot. You kind of get it out of your system a little, but it's not completely gone, but it's all good. But anyway, new guitar day, man. The Purple Haze there, the Hendrix model. It's a beautiful guitar. I love it. I love that guitar. It's amazing. There's just no feeling like it. I've been getting a lot of pedals and stuff lately. I have a new pedal board coming in the next couple of days. Hopefully it's bigger than the one I got. I'm trying to make room for some a couple of other things I got for pedals and stuff. And it's just, look, man, it's a never-ending journey to mess with your tone, and it just doesn't stop. It can. And you don't have to have all the stuff. You can just have one guitar and one amp and a couple of pedals or no pedals or just an interface or no it's all in what you want. That's the beauty of music. It can be an endless money pit, or it can be the simplest thing ever. As long as you're happy with what you got and it works, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you do you. As long as you don't put yourself in some financial ruin, don't do that. Because I'm not doing that. Have I been there? Oh, God, yes. I've been there. And it's easy to do. It's easy to do. And I'm just as guilty as anybody else. But it's just a nonstop journey for me. I love to tinker around with trying to get a better tone if I can, or just something completely different. That's why I started buying some of this rack gear. It's nothing fancy at all. It's no high dollar thing, but it's just fun to do. You run through the Rodecaster Pro 2 right there, and you just experiment. And it's, you're getting a new audio vibe. It's just a new area that you've never been to, and it's just like, oh wow, man, it sounds so cool. And if it don't, you can change things around and try something else. Or you can always go back to the way you had it. It's just, I love it. It's kind of like a mad scientist in a little laboratory, right? That's what it's kind of like. But anyway, there we go. But tune in next time for another story. How about that? Until then, my name's Joe for the G1 Project TV. If you like this type of content and you enjoy this channel, please, if you don't mind, give us a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment. I read the comments. I respond to them. It might take me about 24, 48 hours because of my job, but I will respond. Okay? All the smart Alex, I ain't responding to that. I get plenty of those. I just, delete those and, ban them from the channel. I don't have time for no smart Alex. Come on, man. It's easy to get big and bad behind a keyboard or a smartphone. But all the legit nice people, man, I will definitely respond back to you. But thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless. Rock on. Bye-bye.